Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo back with episode number 51 of Gumbo Live. Gumbo Live, the number one Wednesday night Facebook Live talk show dedicated to board gaming. My special guest tonight, Carla Kopp of Weird Giraffe Games. We're going to be talking about her new Kickstarter blowing up today, Dreams of Tomorrow. Gumbo Live is a proud member of Punchboard Media. Check out some of our other fine members like Jake, the Draft Mechanic Podcast with Jake and Danielle Bach. They've got a podcast about beer and board games and anything they can do to tie the two together. Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Hit us up on social media tonight, on Twitter at Board Game Gumbo, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Board Game Gumbo, and we'll be looking for your questions in the chat tonight. But enough blather, let's get right to our special guest, Carla Kopp from Weird Giraffe Games. Hey, welcome back to the show.
Hey, I'm so excited to be on.
Carla, I know everybody knows you because you're blowing up on social media and Kickstarter today, but just in case there's one or two viewers who haven't heard of you, give us the quick elevator pitch. Who is Carla Kopp and what is Weird Giraffe Games?
So, Carla Kopp, she runs lots of stuff at Weird Giraffe Games. I've designed Super Hack Override, Stellar Leap. I also published Fire in the Library and now Dreams of Tomorrow. Weird Giraffe Games. We focus on games, like engaging games for the family with wide player counts. So usually have a solo mode and they tend to go to 5 or 6 players. And they play well at all player counts.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You test them all of those different player counts. Hey, we got a couple of visitors tonight, Carla. They're going to be checking in for you. The designer of Asking for Trouble is one of my favorite games right there from Houston. Chris Train saying, hey, what's up, Chris? And Chris, you were right about the components in Rise of Tribes. He did the graphic design, I think, or something with Rise of Tribes, and man, they did a really good production on that with Breaking Games. And of course, the name father, Carla, the name father has been working all week on our Jambalaya game. So you better get ready for some excellent board game mashups. We know you like animals, and Steve has come up with some diabolical board game mashups at the end. And he says, "Welcome back, Carla." But we're going to get to those in a little. I don't think I saw you much at Gen Con this year. Did you have a busy Gen Con?
Oh, I had a super busy Gen Con. I didn't have a booth, but I was sharing a booth with Matt Shoemaker from the Be Lives game.
Oh, yeah.
So
hit him with a shoe, right? Hit him with a shoe.
Yeah, hit him with a shoe, yeah. So yeah, I was in that booth for basically as long as I could be until my brain kind of melted down, and then I went into the corner and was playtesting different games after that. So
you guys were there for all 4 days, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay. What were you guys playtesting?
So we did some playtesting of Dreams of Tomorrow, of our upcoming Animal Kingdom, of Big Easy Busking.
Ooh, we're going to talk about that game later. I can't wait to talk to you about that one. Big Easy. Did you get to play any games at Gen Con besides Weird Giraffe Games?
So I was pitched a couple games.
Oh, okay. Can you talk about them?
I don't remember all the names of them. I know that I think one of my favorite ones was by Randy from Seattle, and he had these 2 games that were I forget the name, but
Hoyt?
No, not Randy Hoyt.
Okay.
He's I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know his last name because does anyone know anybody's last name?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you're BJ.
That's right. Mine's easy. My last name is from Board Game Gumbo. From is my middle name.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like Dutch, from Board Game Gumbo. So
one day I promise I will be better at names. But yes, he had these really cool games where there was it was Tabriz. I can remember his game name, but I can't remember his last name. I don't know if that's better or worse. But so Tabriz, it was a marketplace game where you're collecting stuff and you're making things. And the base game was a location-ish game where you're trying to go to different locations and get the different materials to fulfill things. But I really liked that it also had a card version of the game that was different, but it was also the same. And I thought that was really, really cool. And it's probably going to get published by somebody soon.
Yeah, we'll see. So I don't know if you know this, but I got to double check the numbers, and I'll do that at some point. I think you're the only person who's been on all 3 seasons of Gumbo Live. So I've got to know you pretty well through the broadcast and also meeting you in person. And one of the things I know that you like to do is tinker. Is this the kind of game that you can tinker with?
Oh, that game, I'm not publishing it, but I thought it was a good one. Yeah, I offered, and he was like, oh, he's got another offer, so.
Did you see some things you could tinker with, though? I know you like to do that.
Oh, yes, I really liked, he had a really interesting layout for the game, okay? It wasn't a square, it was like a series of rectangles-ish. I don't know what that is really called, but I thought that was like a really interesting shape, and I might like bring that into one of my games in the future.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Well, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, as they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, that's the beauty of board games. You know, people they evolve, they devolve, they change, and they add. One of the games that I've been playing a lot lately is a game called Coimbra. I don't know if you played Coimbra yet.
No, I haven't.
It's by the same designers as a game called Lorenzo Il Magnifico. I don't know if you've heard of that one. They're typical Euros. The theme doesn't really matter. I'll be honest with you. They're almost themeless, which is different from your games. Your games are very thematic heavy, or at least you try to, you know. But in those 2 games, the theme doesn't really matter. You're really trying to score a lot of points. But, you know, they took a lot of the elements from Lorenzo, it seems like, and they streamlined it a little bit more, made it even more friendly in Coimbra, and I think that's why I like it. So that's what I know you like to do: tinker and add and change as much as you can to just make the game better. So, was there anything else cool that you saw at Gen Con, or better yet, was there a game that you heard everybody talking about at Gen Con that you didn't get to play that you really want to play?
Oh, that made me think of the game that I really wanted to buy. So I did play. I think. A few games actually, but Catch the Moon. Catch the Moon was awesome, and like I played it, and then I wanted to buy it, but it was sold out already. So
our friend Eric Yerko plays this game. It seems like every day.
He was there.
Oh, I got to see Eric, but 2 people that I know really well, Eric, and of course the draft mechanic people, Jake and Danielle. They are always playing this Catch the Moon game. I didn't even know anything about it at Gen Con. I totally missed it. How did you hear about it?
Eric was there, and well, I found Eric at a table, and there was like Jess from Gameosity and like a bunch of other like media people, and I was like, "Whoa, hi! I know you all from Twitter." And they're like, "Let's play Catch the Moon," and I was like, "Of course I'll play a game." And then it turned out to be like a super awesome game.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo Live. I got my guest Carla Kopp, and she's talking to us about a game, Catch the Moon, that I haven't played yet, but looks really cool on the table. What do you like about Catch the Moon?
Okay, so I'm really bad at dexterity, but this was like you don't need to be good at dexterity. In the game, you just roll a die, and the die will either have 1 ladder, have 2 ladder, or have a moon. And you just have to, depending on which one of those 3 you do, you take a ladder and you balance it either on 1 ladder, or it has to be touching 2 ladders, or it has to be the highest ladder. So it's really cool because it's just like it's a dexterity game, but it's not like a super fast-paced one. Like you don't have to be really great at it, and it's just like really calming and nice. Like I think we were playing at like 10 or 11 at night, and it's like one of those games where it's like, yeah, I'm okay with playing this at like 11 at night. I don't need the brain power. I'm just trying to balance little ladders on top of each other.
I threw up a picture on there. I don't know if you can see it. Do you see that little picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've seen. Is it that the ladders are not supposed to touch the cloud at all? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they have to be balancing.
This Catch the Moon thing just looks crazy. So the ladders are kind of twisted, and how do they connect? Do they just kind of fit in each ladder's rungs? Is that what it is?
You have to figure out how to fit the ladders, because the ladders aren't like perfect ladders. They're like sticking out. They might be missing rungs and stuff. So you have to figure out how your ladder is going to either balance on 1 or 2 or be the highest one without the ladder actually falling. So you can't let any ladders fall.
So what are the little raindrops? What are those for?
Those are the tears in case you break it.
Oh.
Then you get a tear.
That is cute. And that's Catch the Moon. It's sold out, you said, at Gen Con, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to play it. I didn't even really know about it. And then I got back, and it seems like everybody's posting these awesome pictures of this crazy game, Catch the Moon. I'm going to look out for it. I'll be at BGG Con. Are you going to BGG Con?
No, I'm going to be at PAX Unplugged.
Oh, the split. It seems like the Mississippi River is splitting everybody. They're either going to BGG or they're going to PAX U. But that's one of the games I'm going to put on my list and try Catch the Moon, and then you and I can talk about it. All right. Was there a game at Gen Con that you wanted to play but you didn't get to play? You know, that Envie. Was there an Envie game you wanted?
Well, I've been wanting to play Reef for like the longest time. Like I saw it at Dice Tower Con and I never got to play it, and then it was also at Gen Con, but still, like, I don't know, I just want to play it because like all the stacking and the bright pieces and stuff. Like I don't even know much about it because like, well, I try not to look up games that much because if I look it up and read about it, I might be like, oh, I will really like that game. I probably need it right now. And then like I also have so many games at home already that, yeah. But I've seen pictures and I think it looks cool.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo Live here. I've got my guest Carla Kopp from Weird Giraffe Games. We're talking about Reef from I think it's a Plan B game. It's designed by Emerson Matsuuchi. And that I know for sure. I'm pretty sure it's a Plan B game. I'll tell you, I'm exactly the same way, Carla. The more that I read about a game that fits what I like, the more I want to buy it. And Reef is one of those. Thank God it's kind of tough to get right now, or else I've got 3 or 4 games waiting to be played right now on my game shelf. But yet I keep staring hungrily at the Reef. I probably check Reef on BoardGamePrices.com every day because I'm always looking to see if the guys out of Dallas, Game Nerds, have it in stock, and then maybe if my local game store will carry it. But here's the way it works. It's right up my alley. It's one of those kind of quick 30-minute games roughly, and it's got it doesn't really have engine building from that perspective, but it does have a little thing where you're each turn you only have to do 1 of 2 decisions. And I love games like that. You're either drawing a card from the market, and that market card is going to give you stuff. It'll give you more coral for your reef and allow you to score points. Or you're playing a card. And when you play the card, that's when you collect those coral pieces. And if you can score the points from the diagram on the picture if it matches your board. And we're doing a bird's eye view of the coral. So whatever the pattern is on the bird's eye, that's how you score the points. So it sounds pretty simple, but the market of cards has 3 or 4. If you want to spend money, you can buy one of the draw cards off the top of the deck. But that market of cards always has more than 1 card that you need. There's usually 2 of them that you want. And the 3rd card is usually the card of the guy or the girl sitting at your corner that you know needs that card. So now you're thinking, do I take this really good card? Do I take this almost as good card, but I'm going to score more points? Or do I take that card that helps me a little, but it's going to stop that person from scoring a lot of points? And decisions like that, you know, they torture me. They drive me crazy. But there's not a lot of AAP. This game goes quickly. It takes, you can easily play it once or twice in an hour. So I love those games that are played quickly. You can teach the game in literally 2 minutes. So, and the best thing about it is, you can see from that picture that I have right there, it's got this table presence. It looks like toys that you're playing with, So, look, we're helping Nick out. Nick says, keep talking about recommended games. I need $50 more to get the free shipping on cool stuff. Nick, 2 games for you then, Coimbra and Reef. Take a look at those. Jeff, who is an amazing person, except for one thing. He loves Auburn more than he loves LSU, and that drives me crazy, but he's got the wrong Tiger. But, Jeff, I love you. Can't wait to see you at the next Brew and Board Game night here in Lafayette. Reef seems like the new Azul, accessible but strategic. Haven't played it yet. Yeah, it's absolutely accessible. It's perfect for the gateway gamers. It's perfect as kind of a start the night or in the night game. So I can't talk about Reef enough. That is a cool game. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I got my guest Carla Kopp. Carla, you've been playing a game that I got to try. I want to see if our opinions are the same. Tell me what you think about The Mind from Wolfgang Warsch. Tell me about that game.
So The Mind, in the game, you have to, without talking or like really communicating, put the numbers in order based on what you have in your hand, and it gets escalatingly harder as you go on. I think it's really cool because I managed to convince my coworkers it was a team building game. So whenever I'm like, oh, I need a break, let's play the mind. It's like part of my work to play the mind. So it's like, yes, I get paid to play this game, and I mean, like, who doesn't want that?
So I played it. I've only played it once, and this is how I did it. It's not readily available here. It's tough to get, although it's finally starting to trickle in. And my wife and I,
you could just order it from Germany.
yeah, I could do that from Amazon.de. But I'm starting to see it a little bit in the wild, and I went online and I found out. No, actually, I'm sorry. Alex Goldsmith from the Dukes of Dice told me, "Hey, you can just use your cards from 6nymph. Download the rules from the internet, and you can play because 6nymph has cards from 1 to 104. Just take out the 4 and play with it that way." And so I tried it, but I only played it 2 players, and I played with my wife. And I insisted that we put our hands together and we stare at each other's eyes and we try to do the mind meld. And she just kept looking at me going, "This is the dumbest game I've ever played." Do you do that? Do you ham it up when you play the game?
Yeah, you have to. It's part of it. So the first time I tried to play with Nick, my husband, he did the same thing. He's like, "This isn't a game. I don't understand. You're not telling me all the rules, obviously." And he got like all mad. But then we played again.
And Nick says, "I played once and I rage quit because I love talking." It's true. There's not a lot of talking in that game.
Yeah. But then we played it again like a month or so ago, and I think he finally got it about how like you just have to mind meld and you can just like it works and you can do it. And then you're like you get so proud of yourself because you're like, "Whoa, we beat level 4. How did we do that? How did anyone know what to do? We just did because like mind meld."
I'm going to give it another shot. Maybe it's not the right game for my wife. She does like talking, and she does like mechanical games. She loves Gone Sean Clever. That's the game that we play almost every night. Très Fouté is the version I have, the French version, but she loves that game. The staring contest and the mind, she didn't like Hanabi at all. So this, those kind of games, I think I have the wrong person to play that game with. So, yeah. Carla, on your recommendation, I might even take it to work and see if I can get my team at work to play it and call it a team building exercise.
Yeah, because it is. Because like you try to like non-verbally communicate, and it's really hard at first. But then like you start looking at people's faces and stuff like that, which is actually really good for when you're working together to actually pay attention to like people's emotions and stuff.
Visual clues from the other person. Now, do you find that when you play with the same people that you get better at the game?
Oh yeah, like you start figuring out like how people like communicate and like I know one of my coworkers, Sherry, she always like thinks she's way far off. So I know like the look on her face when she's like, "Oh no, it's not me." And I'm like, "It is you. I know it's you. Just go." So like you just figure out like what people think is like a large like ways away and like stuff like that.
Hey, Nick said, someone said it's the first game that uses downtime as a mechanic. Super interesting. Downtime as a mechanic. I honestly can't think, as I played the game, other than maybe Hanabi, I couldn't think of any other game that had that same feel. So that is interesting. And Sean, Mr. Sean, as we call him, Sean Jones says, the mind totally needs the right group and feel. Well, thanks, Sean. I'm going to see if I'm going to bring it to Gumbo Game Night. At Gumbo Game Night, we have like 3 separate groups. We got a lot of people that come, but they all tend to fall in 3 separate groups. We got some that like to play these big Ameritrash thematic games in the corner. We got some that like to play the latest hotness. They just want to play new games every single week. Bring me something new. And then I have another group that is willing to play anything that's fun or funny or interesting or different. So maybe that's the right group. And there's Marshall Wells checking in. He runs the Sinlaw group. Hey, BJ and Carla. Hey, Marshall, let us know. Have you played the mine with your group over there in Sinlaw? Because Carla's giving it a big thumbs up. Is that right, Carla? Big thumbs up?
Yeah. I think, I agree. You have to have the right group or else it just falls completely flat and it's terrible. So.
BJ from Board Game Gumbo here at Gumbo Live. I've got my guest, Carla Kopp. One more game I want to talk to you about, a game that you and I have both played. And I want to see if we fit on this one. You got to play a lot of the Unlock series recently. Is that right?
Yes.
What do you think of the Unlock series? A little bit different from some of the other escape room games because of the system that they use. What do you think?
Yes. So I really like that you can like play it and then give it to somebody else and they can play it and it be like completely okay. Unlike Exit where like you destroyed it, it's done. What do you do with it now? So I like that aspect of it. I like how the later ones are a lot more different and more surprising than the earlier ones. Something that they did on the really early ones were the like whole find the hidden number using like your eyesight, and if you can't see things really well then you can't finish this. So they stopped doing that as much, which I really enjoy. So that's cool, but like just the fact that you could do something like an escape room, like an escape room is usually like $20 per person, where each of the unlocked games are like between 10 and 15 depending on where you get it. So
Right.
like that's super cheap considering like I can also like whenever I finish it I can hand it off to a friend and they can do it. Like just the amount of value per game is a lot higher than a lot of games really.
We did a canoe trip with the with our scout troop in Mississippi, and there's a game store that we always visit in Hattiesburg, right near the school at the University of Southern Miss. It's an awesome game store. If you anybody ever in that area, it's a fantastic game store. They had the Unlock series for like 12 or $14 a piece. We bought a set of them, went back to the camp out, started breaking the game out, and the scouts loved it. I mean, it's just so much fun. Now, I will tell you, it was one of the earlier ones, and it was a lot of looking for little numbers and little things in there. I don't want to give away all the secrets in the game, so I won't. But you have to really top tier. That's right. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name, Jeff. Thanks for the tip in. He's reminding me of the name of the game store in Hattiesburg, top tier. But the Unlock that we played was just fantastic, man. I wish I could remember the name of it. It had something to do with being locked in a building or something like that, and you were trying to get out.
I don't think I played that one.
It wasn't Squeaking Sausage because we looked at that one and then we went to a different one, I'm pretty sure. So Marshall said he's played one. Let's see what he says. They've played Unlocked House on the Hill. Have you played that one?
I have not, actually. I think they have like 9 of them out at this point. Something like that. But I think my favorite one was the Western one. Oh, yeah, the Wild West one. So I won't tell you why, but it has this point where you're like, I have to do what now? Okay,
Really?
I guess. Yeah. It was like really surprising and different.
So the third generation ones are looking really good then, huh? I got to try those. And like I said, they're reasonably cheap. I passed it right along to another friend. So, they're reusable. All you got to do is put the cards back in order. Or I forget exactly how you reset it, but there wasn't.
You don't even have to put it in order. So they can figure it out.
They can just figure it out from there, huh? I think the only thing you have to do is I think you had to reset the first couple of cards because they were the ones that got the adventure started. So after that, you can just throw the rest of the cards in there.
Yeah, well, they're all like numbered and lettered. So like you reveal the one, like there's a starter card and it's like, oh, okay, reveal these cards. So then you have to go and find the other cards, and you just don't look at the backs of the cards until after.
Jeff's throwing some shade at me. That was a long time ago, Jeff. We were in Hattiesburg for I will remember. We go every year in July or August for a kayaking trip on the Okatoma River. So Jeff, I'm inviting you right now for next summer. I will be at the Okatoma River, so you can come meet us at Top Tier. Yeah, that's my bad. I should have let Jeff know. I forget always that he's always around that area. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here on Gumbo Live, Carla Kopp. And Carla, congratulations on a 2-day stretch when there are literally 3 or 4 games that are all $250,000 or better. Your little game that you've been working on somehow clawed through all of that attention, and I don't know how you did it, and you guys are already at 75% funding on the first day of Dreams of Tomorrow, in the first 24 hours of Dreams of Tomorrow. I think it went live this morning or yesterday?
Yesterday morning.
Yeah. First 24 hours, you guys go 75%. How does it feel to be that close to funding already?
I'm really excited. I know like usually I fund faster, but like there's a lot of competition out there. Like there are so many different Kickstarters like right now in October. It's just really crazy. Like usually this time of year Like, there's not a lot going on Kickstarter because there's Essen, Christmas is coming up. But yeah, there is a lot of competition, but I'm really excited that we've gotten this far, like, this fast.
Carla, we were talking about it before the show. I'm on that crowd surfing show with Tom Vassell, and just last week in the show, he was talking about, yeah, this is October. You don't really have to worry about Kickstarters until next month because everybody's worried about Essen. We'll wait for the big ones, and then all of a sudden this week explodes. But I've got it up on the screen for everybody. Dreams of Tomorrow. Look, it looks like you got a couple of backers since we actually started. You're now at 6770. Getting close to the goal. I looked at KickTrack, and KickTrack on the first 2 days is usually not very accurate. But wow, that would be pretty special if you could do that much for it. So
yeah, if you look at the backer tracker one, that one's more accurate. Well, like KickTrack becomes accurate after like a week or so. But yeah, the backer tracker one, it says like I'll probably get like 16,000. So maybe it's right. I mean, they're all just estimates.
All right, so I got a couple of pictures here that I want to go through, and we can go back to the Kickstarter if there's anything you want to point out on that. But tell us about Dreams of Tomorrow. I've never played it, but I've seen a couple of reviews for it, and I watched an excellent solo playthrough that we can talk about in a little while. Liz somebody did a fantastic
Liz Davidson.
one. Yeah, Liz Davidson. She did a fantastic. I mean, if anybody hadn't seen it yet, you got to check it out. Liz Davidson has a really cool solo playthrough. But I want you to tell me about the game. How do you play Dreams of Tomorrow?
So in Dreams of Tomorrow, you are a dream engineer, and it's your job to construct a good dream sequence to send into the past because the future is not what we expected and we want to change it. So in the game, you have all these different dream cards like this, where you want to capture the dreams from the dream marketplace and put it in your dream catcher. And then once they're in your dream catcher, you want to weave them into a dream sequence. And when you're weaving them into a dream sequence, the cards have different icons on the top and the bottom. So if you match the icons, sorry, like if you hear lots of noises, my cats are like going insane or something. I don't know what's up with them, but sometimes they do this. But yeah, if you like match the icons on top or the bottom, the dreams resonate, and that means that they'll be more memorable to the dreamer, so like you will actually be able to change your future. But yeah, so you want to get a dream sequence. When it gets a dream sequence of 5 dreams, then that triggers the end game where every person gets one last turn, and then you calculate your score. But how do you actually play the game? I'm sorry I did that kind of a weird order, but like okay. There's so many cats doing things right now. It's like crazy.
So 2 weeks ago we had Jake and Danielle with their cat. Last week, TC Petty in the middle of the show, his dog had to go out. So I just started talking while he went out there. So this is perfectly fine. It's a live show, and I love having animals in the background.
Yeah. So in the game, we have a rondelle, which is a series of action spaces. I've learned that not everyone knows what the word rondelle is, which is perfectly fine.
They're usually round. Is this one round?
This one is not round. That's
nice.
Also something like most people either don't know what I mean when I say rondelle, or I say rondelle and they're like, but Carla, it's not round. And I'm like, it's not round and that's okay. But they're like, no, seriously, it's a rondelle.
Yeah, do you ever correct them and say, those are roundels? I have a rondelle.
Oh, that would be good. But like usually I'm like, why? Why am I dealing with this again? Like it's okay for things to be slightly different than what you've seen before because that's cool. Or else I think it's cool to have like games that are different and stuff. So
Carla the Tinkerer. She loves to tinker.
I do things and they're weird and different and people are like, whoa. This is different. I don't know if I like it. But then like halfway through the game, they're like, oh yeah, this is different and I like it. I just have to get them to the mid game, really.
So how long does it take to play and how many players can you play with it?
So it takes about 45 minutes to play and you can play with 1 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So this rondelle, it's made up of 4 cards and each of the cards has 2 action spaces on it. And so there's different action spaces that you can go to. They give you, there's 4 resource spaces. There's 4 dream spaces. One of the dream spaces lets you capture dreams if you have enough experience and put them in your dream catcher. So once a dream is in your dream catcher, you can use its ability. You can also use the ability of the last dream in your dream sequence, but if you put a dream on your dream sequence, you cover up a different ability. Like there's only ever one ability visible on your dream sequence, so you have to be very careful to not put an ability that you really, really like and want to use into your dream sequence.
I like those juicy decisions.
Yeah. And like the different abilities, you can flip cards on the rondo. You can move cards around. You can change your direction on the rondo. You can switch places with an opponent. A bunch of different things so that you can get to basically the action space that you want. Or you can try to prevent your opponent from getting to the action space that they want to get to.
How hard is it to teach for new gamers? Would it qualify as close to a gateway or a gateway plus?
I would think it is a gateway plus game. Like, I did teach this to people who were like, yeah, I've only played Catan. And I was like, okay, let's see if this works. And it did. Okay. I realized during that game that not everyone knows what set collection is, so I shouldn't use that term. Because they're like, okay, we're going to set collect. What is the set? Where is set? And I was
Where do we collect it?
Oh no, like I did that. So like blind playtesting, you learn so many things, all the things that like are not common knowledge. But yeah, for those people who like basically had only played Catan, it was hard to get into at first. I've since taken out like all the terms like rondel and set collection for my rules, so it should be a little bit easier now.
Okay.
Sure. But once they got to like playing and actually seeing like what happens on your turn, they were able to play pretty well. One thing that I've really heard from a lot of people, like they'll play their first game and they'll be like, okay, there was a lot going on there, but next time I will do better. Because like, well, you don't want a game where you master it in one game anyway. No. Like there's a lot of things, like there's a lot of different abilities, and you're never going to see every ability in the same game. Unless you just like completely like discard all the cards all the time, but then you're probably not going to win anyway. So yeah. And there's like different ways, like you can have like different abilities and use them at different times. Like I like having a flip ability and then I try to pair it with something else. But like depending on what you pair it with, like if you pair a flip with a change direction, that'll play different than if you pair the flip with one of the shifting rondel ones.
Hey, there's Kirk Beezer checking in. I love these unusual and beautiful themes that Weird Giraffe releases. Looking forward to Fire and Library. Hey, good morning, Kirk. Kirk's on the other side of the world, so nice for him to check in. So that brings up a question: Where did this theme come from? Did you talk to the designer about what made them think of this? Because this is a very unusual theme.
Okay, so the designer of the game actually designed a game about totem poles.
This is the totems game that you and I talked about last season? Okay, good. All right.
Yes. So when I was developing it as a totem game, I was trying to find an illustrator, and I really wanted to get a Native American illustrator to try to make sure that the game was really representative and, you know, very conscientious. And while I was trying to do this, I basically realized that games about totem poles are very culturally insensitive. Regardless of how you do them, you can't really do them in a proper way that would make it not, you know, culturally insensitive. Like, you just can't.
I mean, that makes sense. There's a big, I don't know if you saw the brouhaha, there's a Euro game right now that's about a Pacific Northwest Indian. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, like I saw all that, and when I saw that, I was like, whoa, thank you, past Carla, for deciding against Native Americans, because this could be you right now.
So how did it happen that it switched from totems to Dreams of Tomorrow? Dreams. It's
dreams in general.
But I mean, it's tomorrow's dreams that they're sending back to us today. Yep.
So one thing that I really, really love, like in all sorts of media, is time travel. And I had not been able to like work in a time travel into like any of the games I've worked on so far. Other than maybe Fire in the Library, depending on what you think the library is. But I wasn't explicit about that being time travel, so that doesn't count. So I was thinking about all the different mechanics in the game and how they worked, and I was going on Twitter and getting all these suggestions. One of the suggestions that I almost went with was like making sandwiches. But the thing is that you had to be able to stack things together, and it didn't matter the order of it. And that's actually hard because like sandwiches or any sort of food, like there has to be a top and a bottom. And yeah, so dreams came up, I think in part because I was thinking about time travel. I was thinking about different things, like a sequence of events. I'd also played Project Dreamscape kind of recently. And it just like, it all seemed to work. One of the things I really liked about, like I evaluated, 30 different themes and tried to like see like, oh, okay, what would the cards be? What would the rondel be? Why would you get resources on other players' turns? Because a lot of the action spaces, they'll give resources out. And why I eventually I settled on dreams was it actually made sense to me to get resources on other players' turns. Like in my head, like there's this shared consciousness, like kind of like Inception, where like in Inception, like when somebody else did something in the dream, it affected other people.
Okay.
So like it made sense. Like the mechanics actually for the dream idea made more sense than the original idea. Like why you're getting resources on other players' turns. And then it was just like a snowball effect after that, where I was like, oh, okay, but what would all the resources be? And I think somebody suggested experience, and then like hope and creativity. And I was like, yes, like all those things go in to make a dream. And then it just happened. Like it was just like one day it was like, it could be dreams. And then the next day it was like, okay, it's dreams of tomorrow. Here's the resources. Here's the names of all the different parts of it. Like it happened pretty fast.
Hey, Jeff Aldridge has a question for you. Did you say you could play solo, or did I misunderstand that? And that is right. You can play solo. Tell us about that solo play.
Okay, so the solo mode, it's against a robot player. And the robot player, it's super easy. There's actually, there is an easy one, there's a medium one, and there's a hard one. But the actual, how the robot works, like you just read the card, and based on how far it can go, like the easy player, it'll go either 1 or 2 spaces, depending on if it can get to a catch dream space or an activate dream space. Otherwise, it just goes 2 spaces and it gives you resources. If it can get to an activate dream space, you flip over a dream card on the dream deck, and you look at what the top icon is. And depending on what the top icon is, you just look at the card and you do that thing. And it either will mess with the rondel, it can steal resources, it can, wipe all the dreams in the dream marketplace. And then it's your turn again. And really, it's kind of a race against the clock with this one, because every time the robot player takes a turn, it has a turn counter and that increments. For the easy player, it only increments on their turn. But for the medium and hard player, it increments for other reasons as well. Like whenever it circles around the rondel, oh, that's another turn. And that means that you have to get more points than turns it takes. And like if you go beyond, I think, 29 turns, you just lose.
Oop.
So you have to be pretty efficient, because the robot is more efficient than you, and it will also mess you up a bit.
Interesting. So that is the solo play, and that is Dreams of Tomorrow. So it's out on Kickstarter. How much longer it looks like?
It's out till November 8th, which I believe is 23 days away. Maybe 22 by now.
And I'm going to throw it up here. I'm looking at the pledges for it's $22 for the base pledge, which doesn't include shipping, but it looks like the shipping's pretty cheap here to America. Only $7. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, you should have it ready by September?
So I I always add in a couple months just in case something terrible happens. But yeah, hopefully September at the latest. It could be by March or April if everything goes right.
I got one more question for you. This, and we're looking at some of the artwork. Tell me the story about the artwork. Where did you find this artist? This is some gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, it is really good. So the artist is James Masino. He also did art on Warco and Highways and Byways, which were by Pangea Games, which is by Brandon Rollins. I don't know if you know him. He's from Chattanooga, actually. Okay. Brandon, he went to Kickstarter around the same time as I did for his
Highways and Byways, right?
No, it was for Warco. It was about the same time as I did Super Hack. And I think his Highways and Byways was around the same time I did Fire in the Library. Anyway, I talked to him in person at an Atlanta Game Fest, and I don't know, like, it's all those people that start at around the same time you do, and like you learn together, you share together. But yeah, like, so I'd known about James Masino for a while, but he does like super sci-fi things. This is actually one of the more colorful projects he's been on. Not to say that his other projects aren't colorful, but they're like sci-fi. And I'd always like thought of him as a really good artist, but like he didn't really fit in with Fire in the Library. And like once I went to the Dreams route, I really wanted to like have it not be the typical Dream art. Like the typical Dreams are like pastel-y or weird, like Dixit
style.
And yeah. And so like I'd always like had him in the back of my mind, but then I was like, you know what? Brandon said he's really good and cool, and I don't know, maybe he'll do really good on Dreams. And then it like turned out that he did like really awesome.
Yeah, this is some good stuff that we're looking at. You've gotten some pretty good reviews. Our buddy Jeremy, Game Geek Ninja, who usually checks in every couple of months, says Dreams of Tomorrow is super fun, and you absolutely don't want to miss it. What I liked about what he said is that it plays way bigger than the small box would suggest. I am always on the lookout for small box games that give you a big game feel, and it looks like you've gotten that done with Dreams of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
And I saw there was one other, our friend Eric, he did a review. What does Eric say about it? He says, another fun game on their hands, and if you like rondelles, there's that word. If you like rondelles, great art, some set collection, or the idea of saving the future, Dreams of Tomorrow is a fun game worth checking out. I've enjoyed it. So that's some high praise from both of our friends there, Eric and Jeremy. and also, don't forget, Bill Lasik says, my birthday's in March, so that works. You're gonna make Bill's the designer of Koi, so he likes these kind of puzzly games also. So good work. Were you going to say something about the project?
Draft Mechanics. Jake and Danielle, they also liked the game. I did not get the little reviewer thing up yet, but I should be getting that up. Maybe if I can stay up tonight. We'll
After
see.
all this, huh? After all this. Hey, you got a couple of other projects that I want to talk about real quick, and then we'll get over to our game. Fire in the Library was one that you and I talked about before. BJ from More Game Gumbo Live. I've got Carla Kopp here from Weird Giraffe Games, and she's giving us a quick update. What's going on with Fire in the Library? How close are we to getting that?
So I talked with the manufacturer this morning or yesterday, one of those two, and it should be finished manufacturing on the 30th.
Yay!
So that means after that it'll be on a boat for 30 to 60 days, however long boats take. I'm always confused by that like large range of time. Like, is it going to be 30 or 60 or somewhere in between? But anyway, after that it will go to our fulfillment partners and then be out to backers.
Imagine if you told Nick that. Nick said, hey, we're out of lunch meat and we're out of peanut butter. Can you go to the store? And you said, yes, in the next 30 to 60 days, I'm going to go to the store.
It's like, why is it that long of a range? Like, well, in like boats, like they go at a certain speed, right? Like, I don't know. There's like a distance. Why is it twice as long?
You figure somebody could use math and figure that out. But, you got to play for weather. You got to play for other, you got to make sure the longshoremen have everything loaded on the boat and make sure it's all, they meet all the permits and all that. So maybe that's what it is. So that's Fire in the Library. I can't wait to it. And it looks like Sean Jones is excited about it too. He says, "Can't wait. Been looking forward to Fire in the Library." Bill says, "Always go with the ish. It's 30-ish." I like that, Bill. That is a good one. All right, and one more game that I want to talk about because Fire in the Library I did back, but this is one that I actually got to talk to you about on Twitter with a bunch of other people. Big Easy Busking, the next game from Weird Giraffe. Tell us about Big Easy Busking.
So Big Easy Busking, this is a game that was originally by Josh Mills, who is an amazing guy. He did Rocky Road a la mode as well. Sure. And so in Big Easy Busking, you are a street musician and you're trying to earn the most tips. You're doing this in an area control game. And what I think really sets the game apart is how the area control works. So at the start or at the end of your turn, you're choosing a song to play in a certain location. You choose that, and then it goes to the next player, and everyone chooses a song and a location, and then it gets back to you. And then you choose how much energy you actually put into that song based off of kind of how you see other people. Like, if no one went to your location, maybe you go all in because you're going to win anyway, or maybe you don't go that much because you don't have that much competition, whatever. So, and then before your turn ends, you play another song. So then you get to you have some intuition on what people are going to do, but you don't know exactly how much energy they're going to put into each location.
I think I've got a photo of it somewhere if I can find it. Maybe I don't have it handy. I thought I had a photo. So Big Easy Busking. At one point on Twitter, you were still looking for some artwork for it. Have you been able to find anything with that?
Yes, I have actually. I found Andrew Schmandrew.
I found something. I don't think this is the art you're talking about.
Yeah, that's some of the prototype art.
Okay, that's the prototype art. Okay, so that's the prototype for Big Easy Busking. But you found yourself an artist?
Yes, I did. His name is Andrew. He was
actually Shrimp Po' Boy not included. you gotta include a Shrimp Po' Boy, Nick.
I was trying to see if I could find some of the images because the images are really cool. And maybe I can.
Where's Andrew from?
Oh, I think Atlanta. I really tried to find a Atlanta-based artist, and I did. I found a really cool one, but then her sister was like really dying or something. And
you mean a New Orleans-based artist?
Yeah. She lives in New Orleans. She was amazing, but sometimes those things don't work out. And I really had to find one like pretty fast. Apparently I can't operate computers and talk at the same time because I'm like trying to send you an image.
But you do have art. And when can we expect? Is the game still in development, or when you expecting it?
So I have a date. I believe it's gonna go on Kickstarter February 8th. Don't like judge me on that because like I didn't prepare to remember.
Oh, I got to show this art, Carla. Can you talk while I get this art up?
Okay. So I believe it is February 8th or somewhere in that time frame because we're going to end the Thursday after Mardi Gras. Because, I mean, why not end right after Mardi Gras?
Let's see if that worked. Oh, I don't know if it's going to work. Man. Oh, yeah, I got it. Let's take a look at this beautiful art. This is, no one's seen this yet then, right? We got
no one has seen that except for here.
Hey, Steve, we got a scoop here right live on Gumbo Live. We got Carla Kopp here, and we've got the preliminary artwork for.
So this is just a sketch. It was like color studies of it. They're going to be a lot different, and these are the player boards, and right now all the musicians in it look the same way, but they're all going to be like different and unique. It's just for the brightness and the colors because New Orleans is super bright and colorful. So does the art have to be.
That is some gorgeous art. I like what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, Nick says we need a sound effect right now. We could do a big scoop sound effect. Hey, Carla, I'm really impressed. That's some good looking art, and I can't wait to see it. And Steve's got the idea. We We need to see some Kickstarter videos with people playing the game all over around New Orleans. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Bill says we don't judge, but he's looking forward to it. So that is nice. Oh, then you're getting some good comments here. They love the artwork. Good idea. So big easy busking, and we should be seeing it soon. We just got to keep an eye out on your Twitter, because you're going to keep us posted with all the development of the game as we go along.
Yes.
Is that right?
Well, once the Kickstarter is done, I'll be like sharing everything. I try not to like during a Kickstarter, I try to focus on that, but then it's like I'm also getting all this art and it's really cool and I want to share it, but after. So yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, Nick's got a plan. We can meet in New Orleans. We play some board games. I got some ideas already where we can do it, and we could do a photo shoot. That is a fantastic idea. And then we can find out if Steve, the name father, is a robot or an actual person. We can get him down here from the Northeast. All right, BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got here on Gumbo Live, episode number 51. I've got Carla Kopp of Weird Giraffe Games. Carla, you know that we love games here, and we love to play games right here on the broadcast. So, are you ready to play our Jambalaya game?
I will say I'm ready.
Back in season 1, you told us the background of what Weird Giraffe was. It was a Okatapi? Okapi. And so we know you love animals. We've got the live appearances from the cat here. So I got my buddy Steve O'Rourke, the name father, who's been working all week to get some cool board game mashups about animals and board games. And we're going to see. Then don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging. The chat room is also going to be guessing. So we're going to see who can come up with some of these. Now, some of these are just diabolical. So the way it works, just to let you know, I'm going to give you a clue, and it's going to be about a board game, and hopefully a board game you know, and about an animal, and hopefully it's an animal you know. So so as an example, if I were to say something about this is a board game about space and the frogs who inhabit it, okay? You might be thinking of Stellar Leapfrog, right?
Okay.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
Stellar Leapfrog, Stellar Leap. Okay, good. So that's what we got. So are you ready, Carla, for the first clue?
Okay, yes. Give it to me.
Here's the first one. Hopefully you know these games. Some of them, Steve, I did not know. Some of these were pretty tough, but many of the ones I know, so hopefully you know them. This one out there it's a small scale chess-like game with special moves. So the pieces have special moves, like the dragon, a cobra, and even a tiny little horse. Tiny little horse. What game could that be? A small-scale chess-like game with special moves, but all the pieces are tiny little horses with little rainbow manes. What could that be?
Oh, I thought it was that Onitama one.
Onitama is the board game.
Yeah,
so what's the mashup? What are we going for here? Ponytama. Excellent job, Nick. I heard Nick say it. That's right. You know, sharing is caring. So playing a board game like Ponytama. So do you see how this is going to work?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, Carla, in all honesty, I think I'm going to give Nick that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So let's see this one. All right. In this clue, a diabolical one from Steve. It's got all kinds of animals mashed up. Take an animal that already looks like and there's Sean checking in. That's right. My Little Ponytama. So Ponytama or My Little Ponytama.
Yeah, but okay, so Nick can't talk because he'll steal it all, okay?
Hey, if Nick wins the game, I'm fine with that. This one has all kinds of animals mashed up. Take one animal that already looks like a mix of a zebra and a giraffe and throw in some peacock feathers to complete the look. What board game is Steve talking about there? You might want to focus on the animal. What's the animal?
Yeah, the animal is Okapi.
So Steve, she's getting all your animals.
I saw a picture of a peacock game the other day with the feathers, but I don't know what it was called.
I didn't know the name of it either, so I couldn't get it. Anybody out there in the chat room knows this one? But
yeah, isn't it the one with the glasses on the peacock?
That I'm pretty sure that's the one. Steve can confirm for us. But so Oh, how do you say the animal name again?
Okapi.
Okapi. Man, I always forget that thing.
It's just like my name.
That's true. Carla Kopp. Okapi.
Mm-hmm.
Okapi. So what could that game be? Okapi.
I think I was too like amused by the sunglasses on the peacock to figure out.
Steve, ruling for the judge. Pikapi?
Huh. Okay.
I don't know. I think Bill's got that, and it's the combination of those two that we're looking for. It's Okapi Coco.
Okay.
Okapi Coco. Steve says he's pretty easy tonight. He says, I think she gets credit for it, knows the game, but not the name. That's right. Okapi Coco. All right, here we go. Here's one for you. This is a difficult. Yeah, that's right. Bill's got it. It's Pikoko. Pikoko. I forget how to say it, but I think it's Pikoko. So here's the next clue. A difficult co-op game where a group of African mammals accidentally release a great old one while burrowing and digging for ants and termites. Anything sound familiar in there?
No.
All right, so focus on the animal first. Where a group of African mammals accidentally release a great old one while burrowing and digging for ants and termites. What is Steve talking about there?
I mean, there's lions and zebras and.
Do they burrow and dig for ants and termites, though?
I mean, like anteaters. Maybe.
Now we're getting there.
I don't know. It could be a pangolin, but I doubt that because who knows what a pangolin is other than me. But it is a type of anteater that's from Africa.
I don't know that one. And I don't think Steve may know that one, but I know I don't know that one.
Okay, so it's burrowing and they're summoning old ones. It makes me think of like the Pandemic Cthulhu one. I feel like there's a Pandemic Cthulhu.
Ooh, Steve, she's circling around it, Steve. She's like a vulture, she sees it down there. Oh, there it is. Sean Jones got it.
What is it?
Oh, he's close.
Aardvark
He's close.
Horror.
Sean, you're very, very close. You got to tweak it a little bit. Aardvark Horror. Of course, Steve knows it. He loves pangolins. They're like an armored anteater. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, and they're so cute. Like when they're babies, their tail is like 3 times as long as them.
And there's Dennis Hoyle, another person that loves
pangolins. People know them.
They must not be in Louisiana because I just don't know this. I don't know this.
No, animal. They're like in Africa. They're like only in Africa. That's why I was like, well, pangolins, that would fit.
So Sean, you're pretty close. I think we'll give it to you. It's Aardvarkum Horror instead of Arkham Horror.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought that was pretty clever there. Steve knocked that one out. I like that one. Here's one. I don't know if you're going to know this game, but hopefully you will. It's one of my favorite games from earlier this year. So I'll give you that clue there. Not snakes on a plane, but snakes next to Spain. That's the only clue Steve gave. That is really tough, Steve. That's a tough one.
So, wasn't there a pandemic set in Spain or Iberia?
There was Pandemic Iberia. That's right.
But I don't know if that's next to Spain. I feel like it's close though. But other games, games this year in Spain.
Do you have Coldwater Crown behind your head?
I do. Yes, I do.
The reason I asked is because Nick said, "Hey, Dennis, what's that game behind Carla's head?" That's funny. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's not Pandemic Iberia. I won't lead you down the wrong path there. It's not that one. Okay. But I like where you're going with this. You're thinking in terms of where Steve was thinking. So not snakes on a plane, but snakes next to Spain.
Oh, maybe a train game.
Okay, maybe.
Because snakes could be on a train.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Probably not, though.
So what's
I tend not to go
What's
Europe-based games for whatever reason.
what's a country next to Spain?
There's France,
It's true. That is
and
true.
I think this is like testing my knowledge of Europe. Italy is somewhere near. I'm not sure if it's next to.
You got to cross the ocean to get there, but
Yeah.
not the
There's
ocean, the Mediterranean. Steve says,
What?
think west of Spain
Monaco.
on the same. What's that?
Monaco?
Portugal.
Isn't that
Portugal.
close?
I heard Nick say Portugal. Good hint, Nick. Oh, Dennis has got it. Lisboa.
Oh,
Constructor.
yes, that makes sense.
Excellent.
I didn't know where Lisboa was. I'm so bad at Europe.
Aren't you going to Paris soon?
I am, and I was just at like Italy and so many places, but like I didn't look at maps. I just got on trains.
Okay, pro tip. Don't skip Spain. Everybody goes to Paris. Everybody goes to London. Everybody goes to Rome. Barcelona and Madrid are every bit as amazing as all of those cities, and no one in America knows it. Those two cities are amazing. I'm telling you, do not skip it. Yep, he's got it. Dennis has Lisboa Constrictor. I keep saying the wrong one. All right, got a couple more. This is one I have never played, but I know the game, and hopefully you know this. And I love this clue, so I have to throw it out there. Do you want to make a super heavy? Boy, I wish Jason Dinger was watching right now because he'd get this one right away. Want to make a super heavy economic game about factories in the 18th century, but make it tons more exciting? Then add a full week of thrilling and scary nature footage right from the Discovery Channel. A full week every year. It's that week this year, right now. What game is it?
This week?
It's a week. It's a week long every year. What
Shark
game are we?
Week?
Shark Week, right?
Yeah, Shark Week.
So what board game is Steve talking about there in the Jambalaya game? I'm telling you, the chat room's going to get this one.
Yeah,
Somebody's
they definitely are. Like, so we're talking about a heavy game that takes a week.
It's a heavy game about factories in the 18th century, but we're making it more exciting because we're throwing in thrilling and scary nature footage. Sharks, right? Shark Week.
Yeah, Shark
Oh, Sean Jones with a tip in. It's Shark Right.
Shark Right.
Shark Right. Oh, have you heard of that game, Arkwright?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything but the name. I'm not a heavy gamer.
Let's back down from the heavy games. Let's get into something a little bit easier, okay?
Okay.
What if you were going to lead your expedition to find a legendary city of gold with graceful, swift antelopes in it? What game would we be talking about there?
I feel like there's a game about Aztecs.
Right. She's circling it.
With antelope?
An animal like an antelope. An animal like an antelope. Oh, Nick is close. Elk Dorado is close. Very close, Nick. Keep thinking. Keep thinking.
Dorado.
That's a good. I like that one though. Elk Dorado. We didn't think of that one. Think further south. Further south when we're talking about the animals.
Are there antelope-like things in South America? There's like guinea pigs. There's ocelots or leopards. None of those.
Something
are like
that looks like an ocelot. In fact, this animal when people see it gets asked a lot about what it is. Yeah, Sean's got it. It's Quest for Gazelle Dorado. Gazelle Dorado, the graceful gazelle. Yeah, Steve's right. I should have emphasized it. Oh, Elk de Plano would have worked also, but we would have accepted that bill on any other night, but tonight we're gonna accept Quest for Gazelle Dorado. All right, we gotta get a good one here for you.
I'm not sure you could find one that I could do, but we'll see.
Oh no, you were so close to a couple of them. You're right on it. How about this one? Bamboo, eucalyptus. Does it really matter? They're both delicious in this game.
Oh, like there's that panda game that you're eating bamboo, that has the tiles. Oh,
She knows all the games, Steve. She knows all the games.
I know them. I just don't know the titles. I'm not sure why. I haven't actually played this one, but I've seen it a lot. It's
You and I are going to play it next convention because this is such a fun game. This is one of my top 10 games of all time.
Really?
Yeah,
like I
actually,
wanted to play it. I just haven't. Like I don't have any friends with it for some reason.
Steve and I play it on Board Game. I own it, but Steve and I play it on Board Game Arena every week. I mean, we're both big fans of this particular designer too, so we play a lot of his games. Bamboo, eucalyptus, does it matter? They're both delicious in this game. That's right, Bill. Bill's got the game. Takinoko.
Yeah, that's
but
the game.
What's the mashup though? What animal are we talking about?
Panda Noko. That
Panda
doesn't make
sense. That would actually be pretty good. Are there any other animals that like bamboo
koala.
and eucalyptus?
Koala eats it. So koala Noko.
Okay, or
try Take koala. Doesn't make sense.
Sean steals it right from under Carla's nose.
That makes more sense than Taki koala.
Taki no koala. Oh.
Yeah.
Carla, I thought you had that one. It was right there.
I can't. I'm so bad at this.
Oh no, you're very, very close. You're very, very close on all these. Are you familiar with Richard Breeze?
No.
Do you know that game designer? I want to give you this one, but I don't know if you know the game. That's the problem. Let me throw a different one out there. Let me see if I've got one that's that would be a good one for you. Okay. This is Steve's idea, Carl, not mine. He wants me to give you one clue. And from that one clue, you're supposed to get the game and the mashup.
Okay.
Rubies. 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 Rubies.
Okay. It's
rubies.
Frogs and rubies and
rubies.
I'm thinking it has to be frogs.
Rubies. Rubies. So frogs is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be frogs and sounds Hawaiian.
No, that's for the previous clue. He's talking about it. Takinoko koala. All right, any guesses out there in the chat room? That's the only clue that Steve wants me to give is rubies. Rubies. For anybody out there, this particular game won the Spiel des Jahres in 2014.
Oh.
Beating my favorite game, Concordia, which it shouldn't have beaten, but I haven't played this particular game. I've only played, here's a hint. I've only played the dice version of this game. I've never played the actual game. Even though I do own it, I haven't played it yet.
Okay. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's right. You can get a clip of me saying rubies to use as a ringtone. Any guesses out there? Sean, I know you know this one. Come on, Sean. Sean's got to get this one. Can we get it? 2014 winner. It beat Concordia for Spiel des Jahres. It was designed by Rudiger Dorn. It's got rubies as the central piece in the game. Doesn't sound familiar? Drawing a blank?
Most of the games I play are newer.
Yeah. Anybody out there in the chat room? Oh, man. Oh, Dennis Hall got it. It's Istanbul Frog.
Oh.
Do you know Istanbul, the game?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen that one? Yeah. Well, what's Nick laughing about?
He's always laughing or something. He can't
All right,
be quiet ever.
I see Nick's got a couple of them. Bill's got a couple. Sean has 3 of them tonight. Dennis has 2. No, Sean's got 4 tonight. Dennis has 2. I'm gonna say I think we're gonna have to give Sean Jones the winner tonight. He did really. Carla, you other than Istanbul, I'm sorry we ended on that one because other than Istanbul, you did really well. You were right. You were right, very close to all these games. In fact, you had 3 of them. You just couldn't come up with the right name. You had them in out of order or whatever it is. So that was fun. Hopefully, you liked playing the animal themed jambalaya game.
Yes, I like it, even though I failed. But that's okay. That's okay. That's not why you play games.
That's not why we play games. I play games, including Concordia, that I never win. I think I've only won Concordia once, and I love that game actually. All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guest, Carla Kopp from Weird Giraffe Games. She's got a game blowing up on Kickstarter right now, already 75% funded. It's Dreams of Tomorrow. How can they reach you, Carla, if they want to know more information about Dreams of Tomorrow or Weird Giraffe Games, or if they've got some burning questions about that Big Easy Busking game that's coming out?
Okay, so the Kickstarter is at weirdgiraffe.games/dreams. My website is weirdgiraffegames.com. I'm on Twitter at Weird Giraffes. I'm on Facebook, Weird Giraffe Games. And if you just want to send me an email, it's contact@weirdgiraffegames.com. So feel free to send questions about whatever. And I mean, I love talking about board games, and you probably do too if you're watching this. So
probably so. Look, I love having you on season 3. You've been on season 1, season 2, season 3, and all of the games that you bring have these amazing themes, have this crazy art, and I can't wait to get Fire in the Library in my own hands. I'm one of the backers, and I can't wait to play it when it comes in. And I know you guys were busy bees when it came to doing those homemade ones. How did that go, by the way? All finished with that?
Not yet. Actually, so I'll put this up, and you could see like a bunch of them just up there. They're almost done. We're just finishing up the last of the boxes and putting like clasps and stuff on them. But yeah, other than that, everything. Well, like we should finish manufacturing before the actual manufacturer finishes.
Oh, cool.
Which is the goal.
That is the goal. Well, make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo. It helps us to get the word out about all of our upcoming shows, including next week. We've got my buddy Jason Dinger coming in. He'll be talking about Captains of the Gulf, which is coming out at Essenspiel. So, and I don't know if you've been following, Carla. It's been ranked by some people as the #1 most anticipated game out there at Essen. So hard to believe a Louisiana designer's got a game that big and coming out. So can't wait to talk to him about that. I'm BJ from Board Game Gumbo. And until next time, Carla, laissez les bon temps rouler.